All right, we're at the black screen. Are you guys feeling good? You guys feeling ready for this? Prepared?
Mm-hmm.
I'm nervous.
You guys remember what to do? Yeah?
Pull my pants down.
That's later. Not quite yet.
Oh, I thought that was right now.
Alan Rickman
My name's
remembers what
Alan
to
Rickman.
do.
All right, but Frank, I'm expecting you to dance. I'm going to get the dance going. You ready? Here comes the music.
Wait for the beat to drop.
Come on, Frank! Oh my goodness, it feels like ages. You'll notice different background because I'm in a new house. That's what we've been doing. Oh God, we went to Disney World, which was great. That's where I got this Scotland shirt, by the way. I got it at Epcot.
Scotland.
My kid conquered her fear of roller coasters, which was great.
Nice.
She rode the
Wait,
Tron. What's that?
Go on.
So we I think her favorite was Tron, which that ride is freaking amazing. But we did there's a Seven Dwarfs Mine roller coaster. She never did any of that stuff, and she was absolutely loving it. I was very pleased.
Tell me, I didn't know they had a Tron roller coaster. That sounds amazing.
Oh, dude, look it up.
open.
It is freaking amazing. Which, by the way, you'll notice if I'm looking up here now, this is how I look at Alan and Frank. I should set this up so that God bless it. I'm down here. So when I'm looking up at those two guys because I got a big TV up here now, but I can still hand Frank. Ooh.
The camera's moving.
Mine is?
Yeah,
Oh,
it just
God
did a slow. It did a slow little slide to the right for a minute there. It was being all cinematic for us.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
Well, I don't want to doing too much of that because I got notes and shit. Stop.
Hammer
They'll
time.
show the dead bodies in the background.
Hold on, I gotta fix this. Well, because I always turn that off, but whenever it goes back, it's like the presets, and it's like Jesus Christ, stop.
I think it's
Goddamn
great.
presets.
It almost seems like you have somebody there, like filming you, and you can yell at a fake person. Henry, do better, Henry.
All right, I think
They say the pen is mightier than the sword.
the penis might ya.
Henry.
All right, so here's what we got going on. So essentially, we're not going to really be doing the YouTube. What the fuck, dude? It's still doing it. I turned it off.
It's AI. It's learning from you.
Okay, so view. How do I smart composition? Yeah, tracking. Turn all that shit off. Oh my God, this is fucking annoying.
It's tracking you like Duck Hunt.
Why is it all of a sudden doing this?
I didn't know that in the Nintendo Duck Hunt, you could use the second controller to control the ducks.
Yep.
All right, so let me readjust my fucking camera.
My brother's doing that.
Now I want to go back and play Duck Hunt.
I know, right?
Back.
All right, so now we're good. Am I straight? Am I even?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're dead on in the middle, man.
Excellent. All right, so what we got going on here is we're not really going to go through the YouTube polls anymore. They're still going to be up on the actual YouTube channel, so you are more than welcome to make sure you guys are voting in those. Put a new one up every single day. Still doing the same content, kind of same everything. You'll notice there's going to be a little bit less content coming from me. I'm trying to maximize the numbers as much as possible, and it was to the point in December I was doing 4 videos a day, not including the long form stuff. And I think it was just too much. It wasn't allowing YouTube, the algorithm, to catch the videos and then really push it. Because as much as I was putting out more content, all of the numbers were dropping. So then I went down to 3 videos. And then over the past month, when we were, on our trip to Disney World, and then we came back and moved and everything else, I think I kind of realized that it was still 3 was too much. So I started to kind of spread that out a little bit. So you're getting 2 shorts a day. And then what else? Oh, and then the longer form stuff every other day. I was even doing those every single day, and I think it was just It was too much. So the goal is we're going to be focusing more on kind of the quality of the content, not the quantity. Today, we're going to be doing fact or fiction on a bunch of different things. The movie drafts themselves, they're also not going to be isolated. We're actually going to do a fact or fiction about a particular actor and then do the movie draft after. But really quick, what we got coming up on the program tonight, we're going to discuss the movie 42, the fact or fiction, real life Jackie Robinson versus the movie. We are also going to be covering Cabin in the Woods, highly underrated, fantastic movie. American Psycho, Sean Bean, no movie draft for him. Rick Moranis, also no movie draft because he's very small library there for Rick Moranis. But then we will be doing a movie draft for Mr. Tim Curry. And of course, fact or fiction on all of these topics. So on that note, how have you guys been? How you guys doing? You guys ready to roll?
We're rolling.
Yeah, been doing a lot of taxes lately.
Yeah, I got to do that too. I got to get all my crap in. Oh, and by the way,
I owed $1.
If any settings seem wonky, if anybody watching, if you can't hear somebody, something seems off, definitely let me know because I've essentially had to redo all the settings. I got a whole new getup here. I got new lights, cameras, actions, all kinds of cool shit. Should be a lot of fun. But to kick things off, by the way,
Kick 'em.
I got a little game here for you guys.
Uh-oh.
Because I'm assuming that you guys are not big golf fans.
What's golf?
Exactly. So I created a quiz. So essentially, I play every week. I do play fantasy golf. My mom and I play against each other. And so you start to learn all of the golfers again. And there's some really funny names. So I have a list of 7 golfers, some of which are real, some of which are fake. Who wants to play the game?
I will.
All right, Lan. So you're going to have to guess, is it a real or a fake golfer? Are you ready?
Got it. Yeah, let's do it.
Number 1, Bronson Burgoon.
Real.
Oh, hold on.
That's 100% real.
It is.
It sounds like a hockey player.
Number 2.
I was going to say it sounds like a sauce.
From Saskatchewan.
Number 2, Quade Cummins.
Real, actually. I think I've heard that before.
He is real. Number 3, Tanner Huckleby.
I'm
Real.
your Huckleby.
No, that's a fake one.
Oh, that's totally a golfer name.
Number 4, Maverick McNeely.
Tom Cruise.
Oh, I want to say that's real. That's fake. That's fake. That's fake.
It's real. It's totally real.
Oh.
Number 5, Max McGreevy.
Fake, 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 fake.
That's also real. Number 6, Slade Van Bixby.
Real.
What?
No, that's fake. And final one, number 7,
God.
Seamus Power.
Real. That's real.
Totally real.
Okay.
Seamus Power.
God, how did I get wrong in a row? Like 10?
I don't know, but there was one time. So my mom and I will talk on Wednesdays because the lineups lock on Thursdays for fantasy golf. And as you're kind of sifting through, I told her, I go, one of these days, I'm just going to pick a lineup that's all of these fantastic names. It's going to be Maverick McNeely, Seamus Power, Bronson Burgoon, and Max McGreevy. Like that's going to be my entire lineup, and it's going to be solely based on their names. That's it.
My name is Max Powers.
Those are amazing names.
Max Power. All right. But on that note, we can get this thing going. You guys ready? You ready?
Oh, look at that.
I hit the wrong button. That's what you get when you take a month off, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you get
falling down
when you take a month off. All right, let me see here. Let's get this thing ready. Here we go.
Burp.
All right, things that you did not know about the movie 42, or actually fact or fiction about the movie 42. We're going to compare real life against the movie that had the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, and Han Solo, Harrison Ford. So Jackie Robinson, he made his major league debut on April 15th, 1947, and the movie 42 was released on April 12th, 2013. Now, I'm going to present a statement to the guys, and they're going to have to say whether or not that statement is fact or that statement is fiction. First up, fact or fiction? Jackie Robinson's teammates all stood behind him from day one, especially during their first road trip. Lan, fact or fiction?
Fact.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Frank gets the point. In the movie, Robinson's teammates show quick support, especially Pee Wee Reese putting his arm around Jackie in front of the crowd. In reality, some Dodgers initially protested having to play with him, and a petition circulated in the locker room. Manager Leo DeRocher squashed it, backing Jackie 100%, but that solidarity did take time, and it didn't just happen in one bus ride. Shocking, I know. It's almost like they tried to fit it into an hour and a half.
That guy next to him looks like Jimbo Fisher.
I thought you were talking about like if they stood behind, like physically stood behind him.
I'm sure you did. Next up, fact or fiction? Jackie Robinson wore number 42 throughout his entire baseball career, including the minors. Frank, fact or fiction?
That's fiction.
Lan, fact or fiction?
Fiction?
Yeah, you both get the point. While Jackie Robinson is famous for wearing number 42 with the Brooklyn Dodgers, he didn't wear it during his time in the minors. When he played for the Montreal Royals, the Dodgers minor league affiliate, in 1946, Robinson wore number 9. It wasn't until he debuted in the majors in 1947 that he was assigned number 42, which would later become the only number retired across all of Major League Baseball. Next up, fact or fiction? The scene with Phillies manager Ben Chapman viciously taunting Robinson is an exaggeration made up for dramatic effect.
Is that Alan Tudyk?
It is.
Yep.
Lan,
Nice.
fact or fiction?
Fact.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Frank gets the point, but barely. So the scene is based on real events, and Ben Chapman absolutely did hurl racist slurs and insults at Robinson from the dugout, but the movie actually toned it down for some of the language for rating purposes, but the harassment was relentless and real. Chapman's behavior was so bad that it actually backfired. It made neutral fans more sympathetic to Jackie, and it also helped turn his teammates into defenders. And eventually, Chapman and Robinson would take a staged photo together later on.
Look how into that photo he is.
Yeah, he's still not happy about doing it.
You think he likes the gabagool?
Oh, he loves the gabagool.
All right, next up, fact or fiction? The movie shows Branch Rickey picking Robinson because he believed he was the best player available. Frank, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Lan, fact or fiction?
Fact.
Frank gets the point, taking a commanding lead here. It's fiction for the most part. While Robinson was a great player, Branch Rickey's main reason for choosing him was that Jackie had the right temperament. Rickey believed Robinson had the courage to not fight back when he was provoked. In Rickey's own words, he needed a player with guts enough not to fight back. Next up, Pee Wee Reese publicly put his arm around Robinson on the field as a show of support during a hostile game in Cincinnati. Fact or fiction? Frank.
I think this is fiction.
Lan?
Fact. Because you said something about it earlier.
That would be correct. Lan gets the point. It is fact.
Whoa.
Mostly, again, it's like a lot of this kind of the baseball stories from back in the day, like especially when you look at Babe Ruth, did he really call his shot, stuff like that. The iconic moment is in the film, and it's one of the most debated scenes in baseball history. Some historians believe that it did happen, but not in Cincinnati and not exactly the way that it's shown. But Reese was still a real supporter, and the gesture, even if dramatized, reflects his role as an ally. What was that guy in? I was just thinking about that.
Good guy.
That actor?
Yeah, the guy that's next to Chadwick Boseman.
He was in one of the Fast and Furious Japan. He was in the
Yeah.
CSI New Orleans. He's in
what am I thinking of him?
The X-Files movie as a kid. He's done a bunch of other stuff. Is his name Lucas Black or something like that?
Ooh, is Frank gonna get the name right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Played by Lucas Black.
Football movie.
Son of a bitch.
He was in the high school football movie, Friday Night Lights.
There you go.
The quarterback.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm thinking of, though.
He always gets labeled or gets cast as a Southern guy because his Southern drawl is so thick he can't play anything else.
Yeah, like Pele Rice. Actually, I think it is Friday Night. I think it is Friday Night Lights that I'm thinking of him from. So
out there, play some good old football. We're gonna have ourselves a good time tonight.
Next up, fact or fiction? Jackie Robinson was the first black player in all of professional baseball. Land, fact or fiction?
Fact, I guess.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Yeah. That is fiction. The movie focuses on Major League Baseball, but black athletes. They had been playing professionally in other leagues. And even one black player, Moses Fleetwood Walker, played in the majors all the way back in the 1880s before segregation was solidified. Robinson was the first to break the color line in the modern era, but he wasn't the first black pro baseball player ever. And finally, the movie downplays how hostile some opposing teams and even umpires were toward Robinson. Fact or fiction, Frank?
Fact.
Land, fact or fiction?
I'll just go fact because I suck.
No, you don't, sir, because you got the point right. Yes, it is a fact.
I just do what Frank says.
While 42 shows some racism, real-life games were often worse. Opposing players spiked him intentionally, umpires called blatantly unfair strikes, and some hotels refused to house the team if he stayed with them. Robinson endured constant mental and physical abuse far beyond what could fit in a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, I did a report on him as a kid, so I know a lot.
Oh, you're cheating. That's why.
So what's something that you know about Jackie Robinson that was not brought up in this video, fact or fiction?
I can't. I mean, that was, dude. You're going back now 30-something years. I can't remember every
I'm
little
sorry,
thing about
you've
it.
been called out as a liar. You did not do a report on Jackie Robinson, and I can tell you this. I know why, because I can remember stuff from reports that I did back in middle school.
Can you?
Yeah, actually, there's really one thing that I remember specifically.
I don't remember anything that I did in any of my reports from school.
I remember,
dude, honestly,
I did a report on Hawaii, and the state fish is the triggerfish.
Okay.
But its actual name is Huma Huma Nuku Nuku Apua.
The only report I remember doing was in, I think, oceanography, and I got the thresher shark, and the only thing I remember is tracing the shark for the cover of the project and just remembering how long the tail was, but I don't remember anything else about the damn shark.
Did you guys ever do, like, when you had a diorama? I think, Alan, you might have been in one of these classes where we had to pick a country, and you essentially did a diorama about that country, and you had to do a full report. And as kind of a filler, if your information wasn't quite great, like I made my diorama box look like a piece of luggage, simply because I think the rest of the report was maybe lacking a little bit. But I do remember also in that report, that was right before the Lillehammer Winter Olympics, because my report being on Norway, Lillehammer, Norway, Olympics. See? Fucking nailed it. Nailed it!
We didn't have to do dioramas.
It's a diorama-rama. All right, you guys ready? Are you ready for this
I did
one?
one of the telltale heart, and I put a real heart underneath the...
All right, Lisa Simpson.
I did one that was just Star Wars characters. They were all there.
Yeah, they're still in the package.
No, except for Chewie. I bent my Wookiee.
Bent my Wookiee. No, did you? Oh, sorry. Before breaking in, on this week's episode, they actually make a nod about the other cop possibly being Ralph Stad. Like they did
because of the hair.
Thing. Well, and everything, like they're making fun of Ozempic, and like everybody in Springfield, spoilers, starts taking this drug that makes them lose weight. And
I don't think
so
anybody gives a shit about spoilers for The Simpsons anymore.
Yeah, Chief Wiggums was losing weight, and he's like, "Yeah, we're having all sorts of sex again. We might have another child that will actually look like me this time." And then they slide over to the other cop, and he kind of does this like side-eyed look.
See, there you go. It only took him 20 years to get one good joke back into The Simpsons.
I was like,
oh Jesus.
Let me get my.
Oh, your Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
Leonardo DiCaprio,
like Jesus. All right. Well, now, and actually, I totally forgot. We're resetting to 0 each time we do this. By the way.
All right, 0.
So, Lan, you guys are all tied up again. Remember that.
From 0 to 0.
Wow.
Here we go. Fact or fiction about the cabin in the woods? A highly, 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 highly underrated movie. And the only reason I'm saying that it's underrated is because I don't think a lot of people have actually seen it, and it's a really good movie. This is one that I have in the same category as Ghost Ship, where I frequently would try to watch it. I would maybe watch the opening scene and then fall asleep. And it wasn't because it was a boring movie. It's because I would always try to watch these movies after like coming back from the bars in my early 20s. And so eventually fall asleep. And both of those movies, Ghost Ship and Cabin in the Woods, 2 thumbs up coming from me. But the movie released on April 13th, 2012. I got 7 statements here. The guys are going to have to guess whether or not that statement is fact or it is fiction. Number 1, the movie was shot in complete secrecy and wasn't publicly announced until the trailer dropped. Frank, fact or fiction?
I'd probably have to say fact because, I don't remember it ever coming out, and then it was just out.
Lan, fact or fiction?
Well, I mean, kind of going with my strategy in the past one, I'm going to go with fact.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh.
That is fiction.
Damn it, Frank!
Yeah.
So the movie had tight secrecy about its plot, but it wasn't a secret project. In fact, it was originally filmed in 2009, but the release was delayed for 3 years due to MGM's financial troubles. It wasn't until Lionsgate acquired the rights that the movie finally hit theaters in 2012. Which got me thinking, can you think of another movie that sat on the shelf for years that you were either looking forward to or that may have surprised you? Because I can think of 2. One that I thought ended up being good, and another one that was an absolute turd.
The Coyote movie.
Huh?
Coyote Ugly?
No, you ever heard that thing like Warner Brothers did the cartoon like live and mix with the Coyote from the cartoon, and they basically just canceled putting it out, but another studio came in and has now bought the rights to it, so they're gonna put that movie out.
Oh, no kidding. Had no idea. Lan,
There you go.
can you think of one that you maybe had to wait for?
No, I can't.
So the 2 that I know of, do you want me to mention the turd or the good movie first?
Do the turd.
The turd was Boondock Saints 2, All Saints Day.
Ah.
Oh my God. Like, it legitimately angers me how bad that movie is. Because it was one of those ones that I was looking forward to because I loved the first one. And then by the time the second one came out, I had been tracking this thing online. You're trying to figure out when it's going to be available. They finally were released it in Best Buy or something like that. So I went, scooped it up, bought the movie, and then it was absolutely freaking terrible. I mean, it's awful. Do not watch it. It's so bad it almost makes the first one worse. That's how bad it is. The second one is oh God. Now I'm blanking on the name of the movie.
It's the good one.
No. Yeah, this is the good one. It was Fanboys.
Ah.
Oh, Fanboys. Yeah.
Because remember, so the whole premise of that is it takes place in 1999. You got the group of kids who want to, they find out about the Phantom Menace, and then one of them finds out he actually has terminal cancer. So they plan a trip across the country to go steal a copy of the Phantom Menace. And after they had kind of worked with the movie, it was like, that's a really dark plot. Do we really want the kid to die? So on and so forth. And that thing was on the shelves forever. And then it was finally released. I bought it on DVD, and it was amazing. Josh, what's up, buddy? Sorry, I'm getting distracted.
And you got to see what's her name in
Kristen Bell.
Yeah, Kristen Bell.
And Seth Rogen plays a couple of roles in it. It's a good movie. Luncey, he's in the old YouTube chat as we discuss Cabin in the Woods. Next one, here we go. Fact or fiction? Chris Hemsworth filmed Cabin in the Woods before he ever picked up Thor's hammer. Lan, fact or fiction?
We'll go fact.
Yeah,
Frank?
it's a fact because you just said the movie was made in 2009. I don't think Thor came out until 2011 or 12.
There you go. Yes, it is a fact. Hemsworth shot Cabin before he became famous as Thor, but due to the release delay, Thor actually hit theaters in 2011. His performance in Cabin in the Woods actually helped him land the role of Thor because the producers saw his audition tape for the film.
They didn't like his Star Trek little 20 seconds of flying the ship into the other ship and dying.
Apparently they enjoyed this movie, which I haven't seen in a while. And I really, really, really want to watch this one with my wife and kid. But I think it might be a little bit much because my wife doesn't like horror movies and my kid's still only 13. So it might still be a little
Funny
bit
thing
much.
is, whenever I think about this movie, I think of it as a science fiction movie.
I mean, kind of. Leads into this next one here. So the basement scene features over 100 references to horror movie tropes and classic monsters. Fact or fiction, Frank?
Say fact.
Lan, fact or fiction?
Fact, because there is an angry molesting tree there.
Ah, I'm so glad you brought
Also
that
the merman.
up.
There's also a merman.
Both of you guys get the point. The basement is packed with references, with each object serving as a trigger to summon a horror scenario. Now, that's the basement in the actual cabin where they're kind of messing around with different things, and which is what's on this board here. And of course, you had the puzzle box. That was a nod to Hellraiser, the conch shell, merman. And it's a massive love letter to horror fans. The whiteboard of monsters, which we have on the screen right now, even included things like angry molesting tree that Lan just pointed out. And then if you look a few spots down, what does it say?
Kevin?
Kevin.
Then I see Sugar Plum Fairy.
Yeah, I was about
also.
to say the Sugar Plum Fairy is up there. You got the Snowman. He's also up there.
Yep.
The Scarecrow. Folk.
Oh,
Like, you can look at this and just be like,
I'm telling you,
Sasquatch
there's so
slash
many-
Coming up with all this
Wendigo
weird
slash
shit.
Yeti.
yeah, there's
zombie
so,
redneck torture family.
there are so
yeah,
many
they
references.
Talk about that.
And I love the fact that you have the who's betting on what it's going to be. You've got communications, distribution, demolition,
Sadly.
biomed.
Dragon Bat.
Oh, again,
It's
if you
reanimated.
if you have not seen Cabin in the Woods, I cannot recommend it enough. Next up, the movie's finale was rewritten at the last minute because Sigourney Weaver was a surprise casting. Frank, fact or fiction?
I'll have to go fact because that ending kind of throws you off a little bit there.
Lan, fact or fiction?
Fact.
No, that is fiction. Sigourney Weaver's cameo as the director was always part of the plan, but her involvement was kept under wraps until release. The role was written specifically with her in mind as a nod to her status as a sci-fi horror icon from Alien and Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
She accepted
Ghostbusters.
quickly because she loved the film's satirical take on horror tropes.
All right, and maybe because she needed to get paid.
I'm pretty sure she does all right.
Yeah.
Next up, the entire monster massacre in the final act was done with practical effects only. Lan, fact or fiction?
Fact.
Frank, fact or
You
fiction?
said the final what?
The entire monster massacre in the final act was done with practical effects only.
I'm gonna go fiction.
Yep, Frank gets the point. While the film does use a lot of practical creature suits and makeup, the monster rampage in the facility combines both practical and CGI effects. Because remember, there's like that wispy looking thing in one of the
Yep.
boxes. There's the giant
dragon
snake
bat.
that comes out. Yeah, all that stuff. Over
But
six.
does that mean we both get a point?
No.
No. Okay.
You trying to
Practical
finagle
and
points,
CG.
man? Over 60 different monster designs were created, and the FX team built elaborate rigs, animatronics, and blood cannons To bring it all to life, the elevator sequence was so complex, it required multiple stages and coordinated VFX passes. Passes. There we go. There's some really good behind the scenes stuff as well, where they kind of talk about how they did it and how they really got in over their head when they were, like, you had all the different cubes kind of going on, and there's different monsters in each one. And at one point they were like, oh, we should totally have a monster in each cube. And then when they realized how many there were, they were like, oh my God. Like, it got to the point where they were just grabbing people and just slapping a costume on them and throwing them in and just creating a monster out of that. Because it was too many. All right, next up, Joss Whedon co-wrote the script in just 3 days as a challenge. Frank, fact or fiction?
We'll go fact. Why not?
Land, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Frank gets the point. That is a fact. Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard wrote the first draft of the script in only 3 days as a creative challenge. They wanted to deconstruct the horror genre while still delivering a fun, scary movie, and the story flowed quickly. The final film stayed remarkably close to the original draft, proving how focused their concept was from the start. And finally, there's an alternate ending where Dana and Marty survive. By the way, spoiler alert. Survive and start a new civilization underground. Land, fact or fiction?
Fact. Sure. Fact. Yeah.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Yeah, it just sounds outlandish, so I'm just gonna go fact.
No point for anybody. No alternate
Damn it,
ending.
Alan.
No alternate ending was ever filmed. The plan was always for the movie to end in the rise of the Ancient Ones. With the rise of the Ancient Ones, Whedon and Goddard
Titans.
believed a bold apocalyptic ending was necessary to truly subvert expectations and punish the final girl trope. The giant hand smashing through the temple floor was the literal embodiment of "we're done with the rules."
Yeah.
So can you guys think? Can you guys think of a movie where everybody dies?
Next.
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Yeah.
Good choice.
What was the, that Nicolas Cage movie where the aliens come to take the kids because the Earth is going to end?
National
Everybody
Treasure.
dies. Yeah.
Wicca Man.
Yeah, the bees. Oh God, the bees.
The bees.
Not the
I know a show.
bees.
I know a TV show where everybody dies.
Ghost Rider.
Dinosaurs.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Well
Too soon,
played.
Frank.
Fucking well played,
Too soon.
Frank. Jesus, man. I don't have my note that has like where all my stuff is. I just remember there's
Just
this.
pushing buttons.
Yeah.
I ate a gummy.
There it is.
Still got to figure out how to bring that in. All right, you guys ready for the next one?
Uh-huh. American Psycho.
American Psycho was released April 14th, 2000. We got some fact or fiction on it here. I basically have some statements for the guys. And they have to guess whether or not it is a fact or it is fiction. Here we go. Number one. Leonardo DiCaprio was originally cast as Patrick Bateman. Land, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Frank, fact or fiction?
I'm going to go fact. He was cast for everything.
Frank gets the point. Oh, wait, I forgot to reset. Hold on here.
Reset to 0.
Pause momentarily with me here, ladies and gentlemen, as I reset the scores to Seto. It really throws Lan off when I make him go first because he just likes to copy Frank.
Oh yeah, because I suck at these.
All right, so it is a fact. After Titanic, Leonardo DiCaprio was briefly attached to play Bateman, and the studio hoped to turn the role into a more mainstream hit. However, director Mary Herron dropped out when DiCaprio came on board, believing he was too boyish and too famous. Eventually, DiCaprio left the project, and Herron returned with Christian Bale, her original choice, taking the role. Next up, Christian Bale based his performance on a Tom Cruise interview. Frank, fact or fiction?
That sounds legit. All
right, Land, fact or
probably fiction.
Fact.
That is correct. Bale said that he modeled Patrick Bateman's upbeat creepiness on an interview Tom Cruise did on Late Night with David Letterman. He described Cruise as having this very intense friendliness with nothing behind his eyes. The result, a smiling, dead-eyed yuppie who could talk about business cards and Huey Lewis in the same breath as murder.
You think those two guys get along when they see each other, knowing that he
Who,
said
Tom
this
Cruise and Christian Bale?
and Christian Bale.
I mean,
who's the bigger douche on set? Because they have recordings of both of them just going off on people on the set.
it's true.
They're the same person.
People still
That's what
say,
we're
though,
saying.
that Tom Cruise is actually a pretty nice guy, though.
Right.
Other than that.
Yeah, I don't know. This is that whole
Needed the
Scientology
MTV
thing.
celebrity battle and have them fight
I
each
mean,
other.
minus religious stuff.
Yeah, that's all weird. All right. The film was banned in several countries upon its release. Land, fact or fiction?
Fact.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Yeah, it's got to be a fact. You ain't getting this in China.
American Psycho was heavily censored or outright banned in multiple countries, including Australia and
China.
Germany. Due to its
Australia bans everything.
Due to its violence and sexual content. In the United States, it did have to be edited down to avoid an NC-17 rating, particularly the threesome murder scene. Even with cuts, it was one of the most controversial films of the year. Next up, Christian Bale stayed in character as Bateman throughout the entire shoot. Frank, fact or fiction?
Oh, you know that's fact.
Land, fact or fiction?
Fact.
Nope. See, you can't just go
Ooh.
with Frank, my man. It is fiction. So he is known for his intense method acting. He did not stay in character full-time on set. However, he kept Bateman's physical posture and mannerisms between takes, and many crew members described him as eerie during filming. Bale would occasionally crack jokes or break character, but he was extremely disciplined from the workouts to the skincare routine.
That fucking guy back there. Get him off the fucking set.
I thought I had a picture of the... Okay, yeah, that's actually coming up here. Uno momento. We'll get to that one here in a minute.
Pour favor.
Next up, Huey Lewis sued the filmmakers for using his song without permission. Frank. Or, I'm sorry, Land. Fact or fiction?
I think that's fact.
Frank, fact or fiction?
I'll go fact. Yeah, he likes to sue people.
No, my God. No, he did not sue. And Hip to Be Square was officially licensed for the movie. However, there was... What's that?
I was gonna say, were you when you guys were younger and you heard "Hip to Be Square"? Did you ever think he was saying something else?
Nope.
No.
I, for the longest time, thought he was saying "hit the beat square," like he was telling some square person to hit the beat, like just get the hell out of here. So I would sing it as like a kid for the longest time, "hit the beat square," until some radio
So wait a minute.
jockey
So the
or somebody-
square is a person who's a square, not like square in the middle,
Yeah.
like...
No, like he's saying "hit the beat," like
What
you know, like
the-
he's talking in like some
Beat you
like some sort of-
square.
hit the beat, you square. Yeah, like in some
Without
lingo, like
feather
hit the
wings.
beat. I for the longest time thought that's what he was saying until some DJ or somebody was saying that it's the hip to be square part, and I was like, wait, it's hip to be square. I
What
was
did
like,
you think he was
"Oh," I
singing
thought
when he was singing Power of Love?
Marty, get to your flying machine and get the hell out of here.
So it was officially licensed for the movie. However, there was a weird hiccup. The song was removed from the original soundtrack CD release due to a label mix-up, not a lawsuit. Lewis actually loved the scene and later parodied it himself in a Funny or Die sketch with... We were just talking about this guy.
Seth Rogen.
Weird Al.
Wow, Weird Al.
Yeah.
Next up, the entire story is a dream, and Patrick Bateman never actually kills anyone. Land, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Yeah, I don't remember how that movie ends. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go with fiction.
No, it's basically a fact for the most part. So the film and the book intentionally leave it ambiguous. Director Mary Herron has said he probably didn't do it, but it doesn't matter. The point is that no one would care either way. The ambiguity reflects the emptiness of Bateman's world where no one notices and no one really matters, including Bateman himself.
There you go.
Quick side note here, as we're going to talk about something a little more topical than a movie that came out 25 years ago. Have you guys seen the show Adolescence on Netflix?
No. I don't have Netflix, no.
That's right. Frank still watches VHS tapes.
Yes.
So spoiler alert if you have not watched it. If you have not seen it, you can just skip to the next video or forward or whatever. Because the whole premise is it's a 4-episode show about a kid who's accused of murder, a 13-year-old boy. As I wrapped up watching it, I thought they left it kind of open-ended on whether or not he did it. But once it was over, I went and I was reading up on it, and they were like, yeah, he totally did it. I thought they left it, in the eye of the beholder. Because I was just watching interviews with Quentin Tarantino when he's talking about what's in the briefcase and things like that. He likes to leave that stuff open-ended because he likes to leave it so that essentially he's like, then you make it your movie. He's like, if 10 different people interpret something 10 different ways, each their own, he goes, then that's 10 different movies. He goes, and I'm not going to take that away from you. So whatever you are seeing or whatever you believe is in that briefcase or whatever you believe in something that may have been open-ended, that is your part of the movie, and that's how you are seeing it. And he believes that that's how he wants it to be portrayed. He doesn't want to answer that question specifically. Next up, final one. Christian Bale's intense workout and skincare scenes were included as a joke about toxic masculinity. Frank, fact or fiction?
Fact.
Lan, fact or fiction?
Fact.
Yeah. Yeah, both nailed it. Yeah, Bale and the filmmakers leaned into Bateman's vanity and obsession with perfection as a satirical jab at 1980s yuppie culture and toxic male performance.
Toxic.
The morning routine scene was not in the original book, but became one of the most iconic parts of the movie. It's been endlessly memed, and Bale later said he was surprised how many people seemed to idolize Bateman instead of being horrified by him.
Welcome to American culture, sir.
That's how we roll, son.
Yeah.
It's like that guy who posted his morning routine on social medias.
I love the people that make
that?
fun of it, though. Have you seen like the parodies of it?
Yeah, that's so funny. I can't remember his name. He was a college football player, and he does this stupid morning routine. And he wakes up at like 3 a.m.
Put his face in cold water.
In cold bottled water.
Who is it?
And then he literally dives into a pool for 4 minutes.
For like 2 days. It was,
oh, you mean like an ice bath? Oh shit, I do that. Maybe I should start filming it.
No, you should watch this guy. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
Like
and then he got
5 hours
from
of
his apartment.
It's like 5 hours of his morning is just getting ready to go to work.
Jesus Christ.
And apparently he works from home.
Yeah,
Dude, I work from.
Has fake conversations
tell you,
with people.
Shaving my head and just and not having to deal with a lot of the crap that most people deal with. I wake up at like 5:30 in the morning. I already start work by 5:45. Like, it's amazing. You don't have to worry about squat.
I got to sit in traffic.
How long's your drive?
20 minutes.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad, especially the time of day I go.
I like to listen to podcasts. All right, next up. You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
And live in color.
All right. Any kid that grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, and I know the show didn't debut until the 90s, but still, In Living Color was it, man. It debuted April 15th, 1990. It lasted for 5 seasons, 127 episodes, and it finally wrapped up on May 19th, 1994. Now I've got
shock you.
7
I've never seen an episode.
Jesus. Does not shock me at all. Frank lived in like this other world
I was in a bubble,
in
man.
Tallahassee, man. But yeah, it was like land. This was huge for us because we would have been like 5th, 6th grade when it was originally coming out, and I still remember during the intro, there's one moment that hit where I had like my first little brief panic attack, like, oh crap, did I finish my homework for tomorrow? Because we were allowed to stay up to watch in living color. And then as I was sitting there, and it's when it was during Tommy Davidson. When he showed up on the, like, until still to this day, I still get that feeling in my chest when I watched that intro of 10-year-old or 11-year-old Brandon watching in living color. But I got 7 statements here. And the guys are going to have to guess whether or not that statement is a fact or that statement is fiction. First one.
What I say, Alan? I know what I'm talking about.
The show was originally pitched as a variety show hosted by the Wayans brothers and produced by Quincy Jones. Frank, fact or fiction? And I forgot to reset this.
Like I said, I've never seen an episode, so I know everything about this, Alan. So do exactly what I say. That's a fact.
Land, fact or fiction?
I think that's fact.
No, it is fiction. In Living Color was created by Keenan Ivory Wayans, who pitched it as an edgy urban alternative to Saturday Night Live. While Quincy Jones was involved with other major projects at the time, he was not a part of this show. Fox took a chance on it because they wanted to shake up late night programming and reach a younger, more diverse audience. Next up, Jim Carrey was the only white cast member in the original lineup. Land, fact or fiction?
False. Fiction. Fiction.
Frank,
That's what I meant.
fact or fiction?
Having seen every episode, I am going to say fact.
Land taking the lead. Yeah, that is fiction. So when In Living Color debuted in 1990, you guys know that he showed up as Fire Marshal Bill in Liar Liar, right?
Yes.
You've seen that, right? He's in the background? Okay.
Yep.
So Jim Carrey was the only white... Yeah, excuse me.
Get it out.
He was the only white male performer in the main cast. He was often referred to by the crew as the token white guy, a title that he embraced in sketches like his characters like Fire Marshal Bill and Vera DeMilo became fan favorites and helped launch his career into superstardom. Now, the other white cast member was Kelly Cofield. And as I was doing research for this, do you know who she married?
John Lovitz.
Jim Carrey.
Steve Park. He was on In Living Color from 1991 to 92. They married in 1999. Still married today. All right, so here's a specific question for Frank. Who was your favorite recurring character on the show?
You watched every episode.
Jennifer Lopez.
There you go. Oh, we're getting... Oh, shit. Look at Frank. Next one. Jennifer Lopez was one of the original Fly Girls. Fact or fiction, Frank?
Facts.
Land, fact or fiction?
Fiction. I think she didn't show up till season 2.
Yeah. So she was. She did dance on In Living Color. She didn't join until season 3. And then she became one of the most well-known Fly Girls, but not one of the originals. Other Fly Girls include Carrie Ann and Naba. So there's J-Lo, and then I believe that's Carrie Ann. She became a judge on Dancing with the Stars.
Yep.
And do you remember who the choreographer was?
Paula Abdul.
Rosie Perez.
Mookie. Oh, that's what's her face? No, that's Carrie Ann and Naba there. Yeah, Rosie Perez. Next up,
Hey, it's that guy from Cheers.
Next up, the show was frequently censored or pulled off air due to controversial sketches. Frank, fact or fiction?
How about, like off air completely?
No, not completely, but...
Fact, because I've seen every episode. So I know which ones were banned.
Land, fact or fiction?
I'm gonna say fiction.
Frank gets the point. Yeah, Fox butted heads with the Wayans brothers constantly over the show's unfiltered comedy, particularly the sketches that addressed race, sexuality, police brutality, and politics. I still remember the ones that kind of stand out to me. Like, remember where Tommy Davidson is performing as Michael Jackson? It was when the black or white video came out, and he gets arrested, and he's like,
Yep, I remember that
officer,
one.
he's like, officer, can you tell me if I'm black or white? And the officer's like, you're under arrest. He goes, oh, I must be black.
Yeah, I remember that.
Some of the episodes were aired out of order or not aired at all. And then Keenan Ivory Wayans left the show in season 4 due to creative disputes. Despite this, the show maintained a huge fan base and even a lasting cultural impact. Next up, Damon Wayans was fired from the show after repeated on-set arguments. Land, fact or fiction?
Fact.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Fiction. Why not? Saturday Night Live.
Frank ties it up, ladies and gentlemen. Damon Wayans was not fired. He actually left the show to pursue a film career, including hits like Mo Money and Major Pain and The Last Boy Scout, where you legitimately have a football player pull out a gun and shoot somebody in the face on the field. But there were actual backstage tensions, especially as more Wayans family members joined the cast and crew. He returned for some guest appearances later on, but his exit marked a shift in the show's energy. I tried to show my kids some of this stuff because she loves the movie White Chicks. I don't get it, but she does. And so I was trying to show her because remember, Sean Wayans, he started out as SW1. He was the DJ.
SW1.
Yeah. And remember, it was always... Remember? Leia knows what I'm doing.
Yeah, I totally do.
Frank does too because he saw every episode. All right, next up, the show's title was inspired by a lyric from a Public Enemy song. Frank, fact or fiction?
Fiction. Fact.
Land, fact or fiction?
Fact.
Should have stuck with my guns.
No! The title in Living Color was actually inspired by a phrase often used in old television intros. The host would say, now in Living Color, to announce that the program was in color instead of black and white. It was a clever double meaning, referencing both color television and the racial identity of the show, which matched the show's mission of putting black culture and voices at the forefront of comedy. And of course, that's why it was so big in our school, because we were a bunch of suburban white kids in Portland, Oregon, which is why In Living Color was so big.
Yep.
I think
even Alan being one of the suburban white kids.
I was
such a suburban white kid.
I think I was just too young at that time to watch. My parents wouldn't let me. And then when I got of age, I was more lean to Saturday Night Live at that point, like 92, 93-ish.
See, all the cool kids watched them both, Frank.
Sorry.
God.
Didn't have that coolness.
What a loser.
Hey, hit the beat, Square.
Fact or fiction, In Living Color won an Emmy for Outstanding Variety, Music, or Comedy Series. Land, fact or fiction?
Fact, sure, why not?
Frank, fact or fiction?
Well, seeing as they're holding Emmys in their hand right there, I'm going to go with fiction.
Those are Oscars.
Those are Tony Awards.
Land got it. I was hoping the picture would throw you off. Yeah. So the show won the 1990 Emmy for Outstanding Variety, Music, or Comedy Series just 1 year after it premiered. This was a huge achievement for a bold new sketch show that was still viewed as risky by mainstream networks, and it also helped establish Fox as a real player in network television along ABC, NBC, and CBS. I mean, if you think about it, think of the shows that really vaulted Fox. Because I've done a lot of stuff on the Fox network here on my YouTube channel. And a lot of the things that really pushed Fox up over the edge, and Living Color was one. The Simpsons, Married with Children was huge. I mean, I think Married with Children was really like
Cops.
the one. Cops was also a big one. But you know what probably the biggest thing was?
Fox News.
No. NFL.
Baywatch.
NFL.
Yeah.
Getting the NFL on Fox was a massive, massive deal back then. And so it's all of these shows kind of combining together that really vaulted Fox into being an actual player in the landscape of television?
Well, when you're a new station, you have to take chances with things. So, some man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's how I'm wrapping up this segment when I edit it. It's just I'm just gonna leave it hanging there with Frank. Where's your crickets for you, dude? You got the cricket sound effect.
No, it's from Discord. Anybody could have done it. They could have just gone click, click, click.
I thought it was on your soundboard.
No,
Yeah,
it's on Discord.
Your Alibaba soundboard.
So, but I do have that one. Yeah, I do have that one. But no, if you look down like on the little shout thing on Discord, it has Quack, Airborne. It give you like 6 for the Discord thing. I don't know why.
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, they've had that for a while.
Oh.
I've never messed with it.
Neither have I.
You guys are so great.
Was that from your
What the
soundboard?
hell was that?
Is there a
That
small
was
child in
Diesel?
your room? What the hell?
that was the soundboard. Here, one more time, see if you hear it.
You guys are so great.
What is that?
That's
I don't
that's
know.
from your Temu soundboard?
It
Holy
is.
cow.
Jesus Christ. All right, we're moving on. Sean Bean. Now, I'm going to be completely honest here. We were going to play a game called Flick the Bean where we would just... I don't even know how we were going to play the game, which is why we're not actually doing it. But the whole point was going to be listing through his deaths in television shows and movies. But Sean Bean, the actor, born April 17th, 1959. I've got 7 statements here, and the guys are going to have to guess whether or not that is a piece of fact or fiction based on the real Sean Bean. Number 1. Sean Bean has died more times on screen than any other actor in history. Land, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Frank?
Yeah, it has to be fiction, right?
Yeah. It is fiction. While Sean Bean is famous for dying in movies and shows like Lord of the Rings, GoldenEye, and Game of Thrones, he doesn't hold the official record, but he is up there. Actors like Danny Trejo and...
Yeah.
Can you guys think of somebody else who might have more deaths? They were in a movie together.
With Danny Trejo?
No, Christopher Lee.
Oh, Christopher Lee. Yeah.
They have technically died more often on screen. Now, that being said, Sean Bean's deaths are so iconic, fans have made entire compilations and memes just about how he always seems to go.
All right.
Number 2, he refused to fly in a helicopter while filming The Lord of the Rings, so he hiked up mountains in full costume. Frank, fact or fiction?
That sounds fact.
Lan, fact or fiction?
I think that's fact. I think I saw that in the behind the scenes.
Nailed it. During the filming of The Fellowship of the Ring, Bean had a fear of helicopters and refused to fly with the rest of the cast to a remote location in the mountains. Instead, he climbed the mountain by foot every day in full Boromir armor.
Boromir. You've watched the movie. You know this.
Sometimes passing cast and crew already at the top. Oh, I was hoping that you would correct me on that. Thank you. Next up, Sean Bean once legally changed his name to Scene Bean as a joke. Lan, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Yeah.
Sean Bond.
Can somebody tell Sean Bean it's either Sean Bond or Scene Bean? You can't have it both ways.
Scene Bean.
So this one is just internet legend. People joke about pronouncing his name Scene Bean, but he never actually changed it. His real name is actually spelled Shaun, and its full name is Sean Mark Bean, but he goes by the Sean spelling. Professionally, the pronunciation mismatch just fuels the meme magic.
Bean.
Fact or fiction, he starred in a non-alcoholic beer commercial before making it big in film. Frank, fact or fiction?
Is it a non-alcoholic beer?
Non-alcoholic beer commercial.
I'm gonna go fact.
Land. Fact or fiction?
Fact. He looks like he would be in a commercial like that.
Yeah, early in his career, Sean Bean appeared in a 1980s commercial for Clearasil. And he also did a TV ad for Barbican non-alcoholic beer.
Barbican.
Like
Australian.
Like many British actors, he worked his way up from TV and commercials, eventually landing serious dramatic roles before becoming an action fantasy icon.
Yeah.
Barbican.
Barbican. Alcohol-free lager right there. It's alcohol-free lager. Next up, he refuses to take roles where his character dies now. Land. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Frank, fact or fiction?
I'd have to maybe go fact.
Frank gets the point. It's kind of sort of. After years of playing characters who meet brutal ends, Sean Bean said in 2019 that he started turning down roles where he dies because it had become too predictable. He joked, quote, "I just had to cut that out and start surviving. Otherwise, it was all just a bit silly." Since then, he's tried to make more layered roles, or take more layered roles, like in Snowpiercer and Time. Hashtag don't kill me.
Snowpiercer. Good movie.
Didn't they do a TV show recently on that?
Yep, on TNT and TBS.
And that's the sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, right?
Yeah, it's where you come out of the chocolate factory.
No, you've heard that. You've heard about that, right? Like there's a fan theory that Snowpiercer is a sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Like the guy running the train or whatever is Willy Wonka. Something like that.
Well, it's not. It's Ed Harris.
Well, no shit. Next up, Sean Bean once got stabbed at a bar and then ordered another drink. Frank, fact or fiction?
Stabbed at a bar. Yeah, sure. Why not? Sounds like it.
Land, fact or fiction?
Oh, fiction.
Frank gets the point. In 2011, Sean Bean was, and so like this was recent. I was assuming when I first saw this popping up, it happened in like the 80s. No, 2011. He was stabbed with broken glass outside a bar in London after defending a woman from harassment. He refused medical attention, went inside, ordered another drink, and asked the staff for a first aid kit so he could patch himself up. And he survived.
Right.
See? There you go.
Must have not been that big of a cut then.
Final one, he was cast as James Bond in the 1990s, but lost the role to Pierce Brosnan. Land, fact or fiction?
Fact, I think.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Frank gets the point. Sean Bean was never in the running to be Bond, but of course he played one of the best Bond villains, 006. I always get the name wrong. Alec Trevelyan?
Yeah, you got it right.
So he was a former MI6 agent, making him a dark reflection of Bond himself and one of the franchise's most popular bad guys.
I like to schmuck my wife up when I can.
Yeah, you do.
Some ska music.
I was going to say, that was the perfect ending where I got to roll out with some ska right after Frank talks about wanting to smack his wife.
Sometimes you just gotta smack her a little bit.
Smack her right in the chest. What?
Alan Rickman does not slap his wife.
Rick Moranis. Born April 18th, 1953. I've got 7 statements here. The guys are going to have to say whether or not a statement is fact or it is fiction. Rick Moranis got his start as a radio DJ before becoming a comedy star. Frank, fact or fiction?
I'd just like to say he would be the perfect serial killer in like a movie because he does not look like he would hurt anybody, but at the same time, behind those glasses, you could see him skinning somebody alive.
Jesus. All right. So, fact or fiction? Was he a radio DJ? Land, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Frank gets the point. Before he hit it big on the screen, Rick Moranis was a Toronto radio DJ in the 1970s by the name Rick Allen. He was known
Chum Toronto.
He was known for his comedy bits and creative sound effects, which led him into sketch comedy and eventually onto the legendary Canadian show SCTV.
He looks like he was on roids.
What?
Why?
Like his face is fatter, the hair is crazy. He looks like he's ready just to punch somebody.
My gosh,
That's
looks like he's young.
Yeah. Or that.
Nah, he's 53 in that photo.
Jesus. Next up, he turned down a role in Ghostbusters Afterlife because he is done with acting for good. Lan, fact or fiction?
Fact. Sure.
Frank, fact or fiction?
I don't know if he's done for good, but he did turn it down for certain reasons. Fact.
No, it's fiction. Rick Moranis did not appear in Ghostbusters Afterlife, but it's not because he swore off acting forever. He said he's open to returning if the role is right, but he's very selective. He even appeared in a 2020 commercial with Ryan Reynolds, showing that he's not totally retired. He's just picky. And of course, that's the role that everybody wants to come back for, is appearing in a commercial with Ryan Reynolds.
Heck yeah, he probably got free phone service for life.
Was it Mint Mobile?
Yeah, and then like a year later, he was punched in the face while walking down the streets of New York.
Yeah, hopefully he got free tickets to Wrexham. Next up, he stepped away from Hollywood in the 90s to take care of his kids after his wife passed away. Frank, fact or fiction?
That is true. That is fact.
Lan, fact or fiction?
That's fact.
I had to lob you up a softball on that one. Tragically, Rick Moranis' wife, Ann Belsky, died of cancer in 1991. He chose to step back from acting to raise their two children as a full-time single dad. He never made a big announcement. He just quietly put his family first, earning respect from fans everywhere. Next up, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was originally supposed to star Chevy Chase. Lan, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Yeah, I don't know if I could see Disney wanting to work with Chevy. I'm gonna go fiction.
No, it's a fact. Chevy Chase was originally cast as the dad in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but he dropped out, and Rick Moranis stepped in. The role fit Moranis perfectly. He brought the perfect balance of nerdy energy and genuine heart. The film ended up becoming a massive hit, spawning sequels and a Disney theme park attraction.
Yeah, Chevy Chase would have made that movie horrible.
Yes.
Yeah, he would have not been. We saw both of those in theaters when they came out back in the day. It was great.
By the way, quick side note about Chevy Chase here. So my family and I, we've been rewatching Community, which I absolutely like. This might be my favorite time with my family. Of like, we're watching Community and they're both enjoying it and they're both loving it. It makes me happy beyond belief. But the one thing that I noticed that I really liked about Pierce, Chevy Chase's character in season 1, is he is kind of the goofball. He can be kind of a dick because he's like the older guy. He's like a little bit racist, a little bit sexist. But deep down, he was also the guy that gave really good advice at the end of episodes.
Yeah.
And they really parted from that. And I really enjoyed that in season 1. I just wanted to bring that up here as a quick side note for any Community fans out there. Which, by the way, the Community subreddit can go eat a bag of dicks, dude.
Wow.
They don't like... I've never... I mean, it's the epitome of the worst when it comes to a subreddit because it's monitored by tool bags that think that they know everything and that... like they have a very finite, like it's super restrictive and it's dickish. Go fuck yourselves.
There you go.
Next up, Rick Moranis refused to do Spaceballs unless he got to co-write his own dialogue. Frank, fact or fiction?
I'm gonna go fiction. I don't know if he seems that way. Fiction.
Lan?
Fact.
Frank with the point. Yeah, so he did contribute some improvised lines, obviously his Dark Helmet, but he didn't demand writing credit. Director Mel Brooks encouraged improvisation, and Moranis ran with it, helping make Dark Helmet one of the most ridiculous and beloved parody villains of all time. The scene where he says, "I see your Schwartz is as big as mine." All Moranis, apparently. Next up, he once turned down a role in a major Marvel movie. Lan, fact or fiction?
Sure. Fact.
Frank, fact or fiction?
What's it, Howard the Duck?
He felt
I'm
the
gonna go-
duck boobs were inappropriate.
There you go. I'll go fact just because they could do some like weird where he does a small cameo.
No, there is no public record of Rick Moranis turning down a Marvel role. Fans speculated that he might show up in Ant-Man
Howard the Duck.
because of, the whole shrinking thing, but that never
Oh my God.
materialized. Where's my crickets?
They still have one more that they could do. I mean, they haven't made Ant-Man 3 yet.
That's true. There you go. There's the crickets. There's the crickets. All right, final one. Rick Moranis has released multiple comedy albums, including one that was nominated for a Grammy. Land, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Comedy albums?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go fiction because I thought he did like actual music.
Well, he is also a musician. He released a country comedy album called The Agoraphobic Cowboy in 2005, and it was nominated for a Grammy for Best Comedy Album. The songs are funny, quirky, and surprisingly heartfelt, exactly what you would expect from Rick Moranis. He said that the album was made just for fun, not as a comeback. Nailed it.
Can I just say that the whole freaking people thinking that he was going to be in Ant-Man just because of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is a perfect example of the Marvel fans like just reaching for all the stupid shit.
Yeah, crap
To
on him,
happen in the
Alan. Keep
goddamn
going.
movie.
Crap on him. Keep
Come
going.
on,
Keep
yeah,
going.
get pissed.
Christ.
Get angry.
Go get him. Get
It's
after him.
so horrible.
All right, hold on.
Yeah,
hold on.
bunch of
I wanna
nerds.
get you a good. There you go. Can you speak in a Southern twang, Land?
No, I really can't.
We'll try it.
Why?
Because I'm going to give you some. I want you to kind of vent right now about that, and I'm going to give you some background music.
No, I'm done. I already said my piece.
You stupid nerds thinking they put Rick Moranis in a movie about small people, you smallest assholes. Just because little people have to be in movies together, you gotta put Rick Moranis in every little people movie? Bunch of nerds. Go chew on your diapers and your sister's toes.
What the
Just
hell?
don't. It doesn't have the same flavor when it's Frank, though, because it seems too realistic. Like, I assume that that's what Frank's listening to while he's driving to work.
I'm not gonna lie, that would probably cheer me up headed into work, though. Yeah.
All right, we're on to our. Is this our final one? It is.
Actually, I listened to Frank Sinatra in the 80s. Go to work.
Sinatra. Guys,
Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra is crazy. All right, here we go. Tim Curry, the legend. He was born on April 19th, 1946. It is time for fact or fiction. I got 7 statements here, and the guys are going to have to guess whether or not that statement is a fact or it's fiction. Number 1. Tim Curry was originally cast as the Joker in Batman the Animated Series, but was replaced. Land. Fact or fiction?
Fact. That's fact. That's fact.
Confidence. I like it. Frank, fact or fiction?
Yeah, it's
Footage
fact.
is out
There's all- Yeah, you can find it and listen to it. Plus, they talked about it in a documentary.
Yeah, Tim Curry was cast as the Joker in the early recordings of Batman the Animated Series back in the early 90s. He recorded several episodes, but his take was deemed too scary for kids. And so he was replaced by Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, who went on to become the iconic voice of the character. Curry has since confirmed, saying, "I was gutted, but that's showbiz."
And then Mark Hamill now drops his pants at award shows.
Hell yeah, he does. Fantastic.
Yeah,
I
he
see
can do
your
whatever the hell he wants.
Schwartz is as big as mine. Next up about Tim Curry, he lost out on the role of Dr. Frank Infurter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show to David Bowie before getting the role back. Frank, fact or fiction?
I'm gonna go fiction.
Land, fact or fiction?
I'm gonna go fact.
Frank gets the point. Tim Curry was always the original Frankenfurter, both on the stage and in the 1975 film version. David Bowie was never cast, though his gender-bending style and glam rock look made him a rumored choice. Curry made the role iconic with his sassy strut, powerful vocals, and velvet voice, and it launched his film career. Next up, Tim Curry did all his own singing in every film he's been in. Land, fact or fiction?
Fact.
Frank, fact or
Fact.
fiction?
Fact.
Yeah. Curry is a classically trained singer, and in musicals like Rocky Horror, Annie, and Muppet Treasure Island, he did all of his own singing. He even released solo rock albums in the late 1970s, early 80s, like Read My Lips and Simplicity. His voice ranges from operatic to sleazy glam rock, just like his characters.
Sleazy.
Sleazy! Sorry, I like this song. By the way, in case you're wondering, this is what my dance face looks like.
Dance face, or you're taking a shit face?
And that right
No, so
there
yeah,
is
You should
how
you
I
should
got
do
my
that
wife.
dance face to the country music. It would fit appropriately.
There you
to
go. Next up, Tim Curry. He was offered the role of Pennywise the Clown because Robin Williams turned it down. Frank, fact or fiction?
Man, I could go either way. Let's go fact. Let's have fun. Let's go fact.
Let's get fucking nutty with it. Land,
Yeah,
fact or
let's get nuts
fiction?
with this.
You
You want to get nuts?
Let's get
Fiction. Fiction.
Land with the point. Robin Williams was never in serious talks for it, and Tim Curry was actually one of the first choices for Pennywise. His performance in the 1990 miniseries became a nightmare-fueling classic, terrifying an entire generation of TV watchers. Curry said that the costume alone made him uneasy, saying, quote, "I hate clowns," which probably helped. Next up, Tim Curry improvised most of his scenes in Clue, including the final chase around the mansion. Land, fact or fiction?
Fact. Fact.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Fact, like Alan said. Fact.
Yeah. Fact. The frantic final scenes in Clue, where Wadsworth reenacts the murders at lightning speed, were partially improvised by Curry. Director Jonathan Lynn gave him freedom to play it fast and loose, and Curry nailed the takes in long, unbroken shots. Many of the cast members couldn't keep a straight face, and some of the shots would have to be redone because of the on-set laughter.
Love that movie.
It's a great movie, and there's two lines. It's not even a Wadsworth line, but there's two lines that I always remember. One, which gets my wife and daughter laughing, is the flames on my face. Fantastic. That, or Mrs. Peacock's a man.
This is Peacock.
Like the Canadian Mounties, we always get on that. Next up, Tim Curry had a stroke in the 2010s, but continues to act and do voice work. Frank, fact or fiction?
Yeah, I'm gonna fact, but yeah, fact.
Land, fact or fiction?
Yeah. Fact.
Yes! Look at you both. In
I know
2012,
the voice work.
Curry suffered a major stroke that limited his mobility and speech. However, he has continued to attend conventions, do voice acting, and appear in special projects, including a virtual reading of Rocky Horror in 2020. His spirit and sense of humor remain intact. Fans describe him as charming, funny, and still full of the classic Tim Curry edge. Final one, he turned down the role of Captain Hook in Hook, which later went to Dustin Hoffman. Land, fact or fiction?
Fact.
Frank, fact or fiction?
Fiction.
All right, this one's going to decide who gets to do the Tim Curry movie draft.
Ooh.
And it goes to
Oh.
Frank. It is fiction. Tim Curry did play Captain Hook, however, but it was a different Peter Pan adaptation. It was a 1990 TV movie version called Peter Pan and the Pirates. He also voiced Hook in the animated series of the same name. He wasn't considered for Spielberg's Hook.
All right, I have a question for all you guys. What's your favorite curry?
Have you ever had Singapore My Fun?
No.
It's like a rice noodle dish.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I know what my fun is.
Okay. I love that.
And it has like a curry sauce?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll eat an entire tub of that shit to myself.
I'm going with tikka masala.
That's a good one. Frank, what about you?
I'm not a curry person. I had curry once that a Jamaican friend of mine made, and I decided that was enough of that.
Was it goat curry?
Anytime we're going to talk about where Frank's
curry.
not willing to expand outside of being from Tallahassee.
Well, it's not that. It's just they make it liquid hot. Like,
I don't want your goddamn curry.
have you ever had Jamaican curry?
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll light a fire under your ass, man.
And my stomach does not do well with heat. And the little bit I had went straight from my mouth out my butt.
My mouth.
I was good from that point on.
You got to melt some wax and line your tongue and mouth.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Frank's gonna get to go first, then, and then Lan, and then myself for our Tim Curry movie draft.
Tim Curry movie draft.
Oops. Let me get all my stuff organized here. All right, here we go. By the way, I don't think I actually even have any of the movies downloaded.
All right.
So we're just going to kind of wing it. We're going to see what we can find. But yeah, Frank, you're up first. What is your choice for Tim Curry movie draft? It's going number 1 overall.
I'll go with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think that's what he's really well known for, is Dr. Frankenfurter.
Dr. Frankenfurter. All right. Well, let me...
Picture!
I'm getting there. Just hold on. This is all those fun little stuff that we need to kind of work on here as I figure out the new setup and everything. Go blow it out your ass. There you go. All right, Lan, you're up next. Rocky Horror's off the board.
I'm going with Clue. Have to go with Clue.
Man, God bless it.
Clue. Clue.
Yes.
Clue.
I think I should have that one. Nope, I do not.
But you don't.
Go ahead and download it. Eventually, I'm going to have every movie poster ever created. That's my goal. Mrs. Peacock is a man? By the way, somebody posted something on one of the videos, one of the shorts that I put up on social media. Somebody posted it on Facebook. And I'm all in on this idea that they need to start doing Muppet movies that are remakes of classic movies, starting with Clue.
Yeah.
And the person who brought this up, they legitimately, like, the way that they had it cast was freaking perfect. Where it was with Miss Piggy and Kermit, Pepe the Prawn, like everybody on down the list of truly doing a Muppet version of the movie Clue. Like, I'm in on that, man. But onto me, and I know I need to figure out exactly what I'm gonna do, because you guys legitimately took the 2 off the board that I wanted.
There you go.
This is the one problem with being the host, and I get hosed.
Taters.
You gotta go
Chat
back to
loves
back,
Clue.
anyways.
So I guess
Taters.
my first one. All right, fine. I'll go Muppet Treasure Island.
Muppet Treasure Island.
And then the second one I actually just recently watched. And I don't think I have. I don't think I actually have the. Ooh, here we go. Hell yes. You guys know what I'm talking about? I think I discussed this on the live stream that I watched it. No?
What is it?
No?
What?
Don't everybody
Tell
else?
us.
Don't everybody else speak up at once? Well, I'm buying time so I can download the fucking picture. Jesus.
Who needs time?
The Three Musketeers.
Ah.
Oh,
Great
didn't you talk
movie.
about it that one time on live stream?
I did. Did you remember that? Isn't that amazing?
I did now.
Look
All
at
right.
Rebecca
Lan-
Mornay's in
Lan-
that movie.
She is in that movie. She plays a hua.
Rebecca
Or sorry, I should say she plays Milady. Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. All right, Lan, we're back to you, man. You got Clue as your first one. What's your next Tim Curry movie?
I'm going with National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon.
Heyo.
Such a dumb movie.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes that's needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Sam Jackson was amazing in it.
I forget that he's in that. Oops. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and save that. National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon. You like that kind of humor, though. That seems to be kind of your go-to there, Lan.
Yeah, I like dumb, stupid humor,
Mhm.
especially nowadays. You
Why
need
is it not
dumb, stupid humor?
opening? Here you go. In case you guys aren't familiar with the Loaded Weapon. All right, Frank, you get to go back to back. What you got, buddy?
I'll go with Legend for the first one because I
Oh,
think
you
it's a
son of a
surprise.
bitch.
I think it's a surprise for most people to find out that he was the devil
Yeah.
in that movie.
Mm.
And
well, I
then,
mean, that was sort of the hint that I was making at the very beginning was the legend Tim Curry.
Did you know he's a legend?
He is. All right.
Okay. And then the next one, even though I wasn't really I found this movie kind of weird, but Congo, his character. in
Oh,
that
dude,
movie,
fuck
Oh, yeah,
you,
Congo was
man.
good.
I love that movie. Mr. Hermosa, quit eating my sesame cake. Dude, I love that damn movie.
Oh, I think it was the gorillas that threw me off, where you could just tell they were fake as hell.
Oh, yeah, like when it's like talking, it's like doing all the hand signals and shit, and you're like,
Well,
yeah,
not just that,
yeah.
but even the wild ones that were like chasing after him.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't fully commit to CGI, so you just got a bunch of guys in rubber suits running around
Hell yeah,
beating
they
the crap
did.
out of Tim Curry.
I'm telling you, Mr. Hermosa, stop eating my sesame cake. Oh, look at this. It's like a Spanish version. God damn it. All right, whatever. I got to
I read. Yeah, you did both of them Spanish version.
Jesus. What, Legend
El
2?
Uno Legendo.
El Nuevo. Fuck, see, that's the problem is trying to find ones that are high res.
English?
El Diablo.
No, they're high resolution. I'll have to get those ones later. All right, Lan, what's your third movie?
Yeah. I'm gonna go Annie.
Oh, look at you. It is a hard knock life.
This is one of the first movies that we ever recorded off TV with our Betamax,
Ooh,
and so we used to watch it all the
Betamax.
time.
look
Yeah.
at you, bootleggers. See if we can't get the Spanish Annie. I wonder what Annie sounds like in Spanish. There you go.
Probably Annie.
Yeah, it's Anye.
El Solis.
So I gotta go. I mentioned this before.
Home Alone 2.
No, I'm not gonna go Home Alone 2. But it is a sequel.
Oh, you're doing the scary movie too.
Is it?
Oh,
Is it
Titties.
specifically? Is it titties? All right, so that's gonna do it for the movie draft.
Titties.
Frank's got Rocky Horror Picture Show, Legend, and Congo. Lan has Clue, National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon, and Annie. And I have Muppet Treasure Island, Three Musketeers, and Scary Movie 2. And on that note, that's gonna wrap it up for the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Back normal time. I think for the most part, coming up, pay attention to my social media because that's where I'm going to make these announcements of when we're off, when we're on, things like that. because coming up towards the end of April, my mom is actually going to be in town, and I don't want to live stream while she's here. So we're going to catch up on some stuff. We're going to get that done, and then there will be 1 or 2 weeks where we're going to be off right there. But just follow the social medias. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing and checking out all the stuff. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the live stream, you're going to notice that there's a little bit less content coming from me, but it's more beneficial to the channel because the numbers are going up more on the content that I'm doing. But make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, sharing the stuff as much as possible. If you got Facebook, make sure you guys are sharing it out there. Blue Sky, whatever the hell it is that you guys are using for your social medias, share these videos, share this content, and it helps us out. So we can finally get to the movie club. I even got to talking to some guys here in El Paso about it, and I want to start doing the movie club, but I need more members on the channel to make that happen. I'm thinking the way that we're going to make it work is that just that original tier will be 99 cents. That other tier of $4.99 will still be there. And what you're going to do is if you're a member of the channel, you are automatically entered into the drawings that are going to happen once a month. Once a month, I'm going to recommend a movie. I'm going to find a piece of memorabilia or something related to that movie, and then I'm going to do a giveaway at the end of the month. And what's going to happen is if you have the 99-cent tier, you have 1 entry in for the drawing. If you're on the $4.99 tier, you have 5 entries in for the drawing. And then all I'm going to do is just kind of do a random number generator. We're just going to pick a random name out once a month, and you're going to win whatever it is. And I legitimately, I think I showed this on one of the live streams right before we took the long break. I did. And the first movie I'm recommending is going to be Tombstone, and this is going to be the giveaway. It's a whiskey glass that says nonsense. I have not yet begun to defile myself, which is a famous Doc Holliday quote.
So make sure I'll kill him.
Yes, and that's another big one. We didn't even get to talking about him passing away. But make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, recruit people to become members of the damn channel, man. Because once we can get this thing going, we'll get the ball rolling. And especially if you're here,
we can start our cult.
We can start our cult, and like I'm gonna order everybody some Nikes, and it's gonna be great. And one of the things that I actually want to do as well is, this is more exclusive for the people here in El Paso, is I've always wanted to do this. I kind of did this when I was in Florida. It never quite worked out the way that I wanted it to, but I want to do like a monthly movie where I rent out the theater, and I can either give away tickets or people can purchase the tickets. I really don't care either way. It's the movie that I recommend. So the first one will be Tombstone. And like there's I'm kind of throwing it out there. There is a movie theater. I'm not going to name the name yet because I haven't talked to anybody. But there's a theater that's right down the street from my house. We could maybe go do it there. I can have more giveaways and stuff. I still get a boatload of T-shirts and the stickers and all kinds of that crap going on. So make sure you guys are not only becoming members of the channel, but you're recruiting other people to become members of the channel because it's going to help push this stuff and take us to the next level. But on that note,
Pyramid scheme.
Pyramid scheme. Look, you recruit 2 people and then they each recruit 2 people. And then we just move on down the line. And that's how it works. But on that note, we're going to wrap it up. My voice is actually starting to go because it's really dry in here. Welcome to El Paso, Texas. But on that note, have a fantastic week, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.